I guess let's go ahead and do 3 up and 3 down since we're talking Orioles right here. Why don't we go ahead and get it out of the way?
Three up.
And
3 down.
3 up and 3 down is brought to you by the Costas Inn, where they have a great event coming up with the legend himself, Rick Dempsey. He'll be at the Costas Inn Timonium, the OG Costas Inn, on Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. just to hang out. Autographs, pictures, just Rick Dempsey hanging out, and you'll be eating Costas Inn food. It's hard for me to think of a better way to spend a Wednesday night. 6 to 8 p.m. at the new Costas Inn in Timonium with Rick Dempsey. Go see him on Wednesday. Real quick. I love weeks like this. I love them. Because you're almost nitpicking on some of the negatives, right? Like, you're like, I feel, because I guess when they have a winning record, we always start with the down, then we do the up, right? We do the opposite of whatever they did, correct?
I guess so, yeah.
We
We've been
build
starting
up to the what was the bigger part of the week.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the down. And Trevor Rogers' name is going to come up. I guess let me go ahead and get it out of the way. 3 for me on the down list was Jeremiah Jackson. I'm not done with Jeremiah Jackson by any stretch of the imagination. He went 2 for 13 this week, grounded in some double plays. Like, it was not a good week for Jeremiah Jackson. It definitely appears at the moment as though the playing time is shifting towards Blaze Alexander for good reason. And still getting Kobe Mayo at bats, obviously, as well. This isn't burying Jeremiah Jackson or saying that he's never going to have an impact or that he needs to anything along those lines. But the bloom has definitely come off the rose, and I think the question at the moment is how many regular at-bats do you get Jeremiah Jackson? Last week it was only 13. But Jeremiah Jackson's number 3 for me, 2 for 13. I still think he's a factor. I still think he's part of the story. It just seems like maybe pitchers are starting to adjust to him a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much take the words out of my mouth. Jeremiah Jackson as well is my number 3. Just, still rooting for him. He had some really massive moments for this team, especially in April. But yeah, hopefully he can settle back in as a reserve and still find a way to help and impact the team. But yeah, Jeremiah Jackson, not a good week, unfortunately.
Trevor Rogers is number 2 for me. And it stinks because it was looking like Trevor Rogers wasn't going to be in this conversation. But the 7th inning counts, and I can't hide behind he shouldn't have been out there. His pitch count was very low. He absolutely should have been out there. And you can't give up 2 home runs like that. And we can have a conversation. I have never it's funny because with when we do pats on the ass and slaps to the helmet, we include coaches on that. We have never included managers in 3 up and 3 down. We've always kept it to players. So if you want to have a conversation about how it was that was handled by Craig Albernaz, I'm all good with it, but it was still Trevor Rogers who was on the mound at a place in the game where he had every reason to be on the mound and failed. Trevor Rogers is number 2.
Rogers is not on my list. I mean, I didn't really know how to measure it because for 6 innings he was really good, and then
even that was he got benefit of some really good defense.
Sure,
I didn't think he was great on Friday. I thought the results were great on Friday,
and it's part of it, I guess. I mean, that still matters.
It does still matter, but then so does giving up a couple of 2-run homers in the 7th inning.
So he just wasn't on my list. And maybe it was because maybe if more of the rotation had been shaky throughout the week, but since this was the only down part of the starting rotation all week, and it's still 80% of it was still pretty good. So I went with 2 bullpen guys as my 1 and 2. So Anthony Nunez is my number 2. He keeps getting these, late inning, these critical spots late in games, and it seems like he's delivering a little bit less and less. Thursday night was a 1-1 game, and obviously the offense didn't do a whole lot, but he blew the game on Thursday. He took the loss Thursday night.
Yeah, it was tough because his stuff was really good on Thursday.
He blew up Monday on the Memorial Day game that ended up going to extras.
So did everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, but and then he also gave up 2 runs Saturday to make that comeback even more improbable. So it just was not a good week for Anthony Nunez. Talk about results. The results were not there for Anthony Nunez really at all this week. I think he did have 1 scoreless outing, but Anthony Nunez is my number 2.
Yanier Cano is number 1. It was a disaster of a week, obviously, for Yanier Cano. And, again, we can have the conversation about whether or not you should have been putting, after he appeared to be hurt, should you have been putting Yanier Cano in that spot on Friday? We can have all those conversations. But if Yanier Cano is good to go, he also didn't pitch the night before. So he's available. This goes back to that conversation that we had about when you make the choice to put Yanier Cano on the IL or not. If you don't put a guy on the IL, then the way the bullpen shapes up is, hey, which of your leverage guys are available in this spot? Yanier Cano was the guy that was available. Should he have been on the IL? I don't. That's a conversation for somebody else to have. I can't answer that. But he was the guy they called upon, and obviously, it hadn't been good the first time. The weird part is in the second on Friday, he recorded outs, which he didn't do in his first appearance.
Recorded and outs.
That's true. Brutal. Yanier Cano is number 1.
Yes, as well. It ended up being a 40 ERA or something. 40.5 ERA.
That's not ideal.
For Cano.
Not ideal. The up list was great because there were lots of choices. I struggled because I really wanted to put Colton Cowser on the list.
I did.
He did have the. I'm stunned. He did have. Although I think last week I put him on and you didn't, which is really weird.
Maybe. I went back and forth between 8 different guys.
Yeah, there were lots of options this week, but the defensive miscue on Saturday was just enough for me to leave Cowser off the list in favor of Basayo. So Samuel Basayo. Number 3, he OPS'd 1429 for the week.
Is that good?
I hear that's good. And I know he didn't.
God, the shoulder thing was so scary.
Oh, no doubt on Saturday, right? And I know he wasn't in the lineup on back-to-back games, but he also did come in. Samuel Basayo OPS'd 1429 for the week. He's number 3.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's number 3.
Yeah.
Really.
Blaze Alexander went 9 for 20 on the week. Obviously had the 6
went 10
RBI
for 20
game.
on the week, in fact.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What did I miss a hit in there? Anyway, I went with Colton Cowser. I mean, there were a bunch of guys worthy of this spot. I defaulted to him because he was clutch all week, starting obviously with Memorial Day, and then even with the miscue on Saturday, he helped spark that 9th inning rally with that double down the line, and then obviously another big hit yesterday. So I went ahead and put the Moo Man, the Milkman, as my number 3.
Blaze Alexander went 10 for 20 for the week. He's my number 2.
Oh, I left Blaze off. Shane Baz was my number 2.
Shane Baz had a really good start.
Struck out 9, 7 innings, 1-run ball against Tampa.
Really good start. Nobody's arguing that. Yep, it was a very good start, but it was one in comparison. He was in the conversation for me, but it was one in comparison to the guys that were doing it all week.
And we'll see if we're on the same page for number 1 here. Obviously, first career win for the guy. Against the Blue, going against Tampa. So yeah, Trey Gibson.
There you go. No, obviously, salute. The answer, of course, is Kyle Bradish.
I guess I should have came in with my Kyle Bradish hoodie today, I guess.
Kyle Bradish. The season really is, if it's turning in concert with Kyle Bradish being Kyle Bradish again. Nothing has changed things more. You go back to them winning that series against the Yankees a couple of weeks ago. Nothing has been more significant than Kyle Bradish solidifying, again at the time, giving you one starter that you had faith in, which was one more than 0. Now, it's weird that Brandon Young was the next one that joined the list, but take him where you can get him. And at the moment, there's really kind of no argument about Brandon Young staying in the rotation. I don't know where we are with Dean Kramer at this point, but there's no Brandon Young is not going out of this rotation right now. If there's a conversation, the conversation really becomes about whether or not Kramer goes back in, or for Rogers. That's kind of the debate at the moment, would be Kramer or Rogers.
Kramer was moved to the 60-day IL over the weekend.
Yeah, but I thought he had been out for.
Yeah, so I don't know if it changes a whole lot, but I think the earliest he can be back is like June 21st or something.
All right, so this isn't a conversation for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the Orioles right now have their 5-star. Actually, what's Povic's story?
Let's see what the latest on Povich was. They're so not a lot, you know.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing his name even come up in conversation.
Nothing recent.
Yeah,
He met with Keith Meister, Dr. Keith Meister, to look at his elbow 2 weeks ago.
Doesn't seem
and
good.
that was the last he got a cortisone shot. Or no, sorry, he had a
cortisone
injection.
in May.
Yeah. Okay. So that was 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
So not great.
Seems
I would
like,
say Kramer's, I guess, closer than Povich.
Seems like they don't have to worry about this. They don't have any decision to make for some time. I guess maybe the decision is about Trey Gibson. Now that I think about it, maybe that's who they have to think
Is it
about.
Rogers versus Gibson? Is
Yeah,
that...
I mean, that's why Rogers is probably safe for some time. But if there were to be a couple of more brutal starts, then maybe that conversation would be louder. Anyway, yeah, Kyle Bradish is obviously number one on the up list for this week. We'll get it up at GlennClarkRadio.com here momentarily.